Imagine for a moment that this total erasure has happened. Self, that most people spend their entire lives avoiding yourself. The contact list on your phone and the social validation of your peers, you are left with something. When you strip away the title on your business card, the net worth in your bank account, the void is not merely a lack of noise, it is a mirror.
When you strip away the title on your business card, the net worth in your bank account, the contact list on your phone, and the social validation of your peers, you are left with something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding: yourself. Imagine for a moment that this total erasure has happened. You have been dropped into a random city in a developed nation. You have your health, you have your freedom, you have a roof over your head for 1 month and enough food to survive that month. But you have $0, zero status, and zero connections. You are a ghost in the machine of the modern economy. Most people faced with this scenario feel a rising panic. This panic is not just about survival, it is about identity. We have been conditioned to believe that our value is extrinsic, that we are worth what the market pays us, what our boss says we are, or who we know. But if you understand the physics of wealth creation, this scenario is not a nightmare. It is a game. And it is a game that can be won deterministically, provided you do not rely on luck. If you were to play this game 1,000 times, in 999 of those iterations, you should be able to reconstruct significant wealth within a decade. Not just survival, but abundance. This suggests that wealth is not a random distribution of luck, but a skill set. It is a set of algorithms you run on your environment. The variable is not the world, the variable is you. To start from zero is to confront the reality that you are currently trading your time for money, and that this trade is the losing side of an equation. The first step in this reconstruction is not to update a resume or look for a job. Those are actions of desperation, designed to plug a leak. The first step is a shift in psychology. You must understand that society is not holding money back from you. Society is simply a mechanism for transferring value. Money is the way we transfer wealth. Wealth is the thing we want: the factory, the robot, the computer program, the house, the cure. Money is just the IOU that allows us to move that wealth around. Therefore, the problem of starting from zero is not, how do I get money? The problem is, how do I generate value that society wants but does not yet know how to get? And how do I do it at a scale that does not require my physical presence? If you look around you, everything you see that is not nature was created by a human mind. Every building, every system, every law, every product was once just an idea. The people who manifested these things were not distinct species. They simply understood that the inputs of the world, labor, capital, code, media, are pliable. When you are at zero, you have no capital. You have no stored labor. You have no reputation. What you have is the potential for judgment and the capacity for specific knowledge. We begin by discarding the idea of competition. Competition is for people who are copying. If you are competing, you are trying to be a better version of someone else. In a world of 7 billion people, you will always lose the game of being someone else. You can only win the game of being you. This sounds like a platitude, but it is an economic iron law. The internet has flattened the distribution cost of information to zero. This means that every niche, no matter how small, can be aggregated globally. If you have a unique obsession, a specific intersection of interests, say the history of 17th century finance combined with modern Python programming, there is no local market for that. But there is a global audience of perhaps 10,000 people who are desperate for that synthesis. Starting from zero requires you to audit your curiosity. What are the things you do that look like work to others but feel like play to you? This is the genesis of specific knowledge. Specific knowledge cannot be taught in schools. If it could be taught in schools, society could train someone to replace you, and the price of your labor would drop to the cost of that training. Specific knowledge is found by pursuing your genuine intellectual curiosity rather than chasing what is hot right now. When you are starting with nothing, your only initial leverage is your mind. You must become a learning machine. The goal is to become the best in the world at what you do. Because you are defining what you do based on your unique psychological makeup, the world might be a very small niche initially. That is fine. You want to be a monopoly of one. Let us look at the mechanics of the climb. You are at 0. You need to eat. You will likely have to rent out your time initially. This is manual labor or service work. There is no shame in this, but there is danger. The danger is getting addicted to the monthly wage. The wage is a drug that sedates you into forgetting that you are not building anything. While you are renting your time to survive, you must be ruthlessly carving out free time to build. You are looking for leverage. Leverage is the concept of output disconnection from input. If you move a rock with your hands, the output is 1-to-1. If you use a lever, the output is 10-to-1. In the modern economy, leverage comes in 3 broad forms. And understanding the hierarchy of these forms is essential for someone with no connections. The first and oldest form of leverage is labor. This is people working for you. This is what your parents' generation thought of as success, becoming a manager. But labor is a terrible form of leverage for someone starting from 0. It requires money to pay them. It requires complex management skills, and people are messy. They have egos, they get sick, they have rights. You want to avoid labor leverage until you absolutely cannot grow without it. The second form of leverage is capital. This is money working for you. If you invest $1 million, it works while you sleep. But we are assuming you have 0. Capital is permissioned leverage. You need someone to give it to you, a bank, an investor, a rich relative. If you have no connections, you cannot access this lever yet. The third form of leverage is the most recent, and it is the most democratic. It is the leverage of the zero marginal cost replication. This includes code and media. This is the leverage of the new rich. Consider a piece of software. You write it once. It can run 1,000 times or 1,000,000,000 times. The cost of serving the 1,000,000th user is almost nothing. The code does not ask for a raise. It does not sleep. It does not quit. Consider media a podcast, a blog, a video script, a book. You record it once. It can be consumed by 10 people or 10 million people. The effort you put in is fixed, but the output is uncapped. This is the key to rising from 0 without connections. You must build permissionless leverage. You do not need anyone's permission to learn to code. You do not need anyone's permission to record a voiceover. You do not need a network to upload a video or publish an article. The internet is an open, permissionless system. It is a meritocracy of ideas. So, the strategy becomes clear. You work a job to survive. In your free time, you cultivate specific knowledge, the things you are naturally curious about. Then, you encapsulate that specific knowledge into media or code. You build a product or a piece of content that provides value to someone else. But here is the friction point where most fail. They expect immediate feedback. They post one article and nothing happens. They write one script and no one buys it. They assume the game is broken. They do not understand the compounding nature of reputation. When you have no connections, your reputation is your proxy for connections. You build reputation by proving your work in public. This is the concept of showing your work. If you are learning about artificial intelligence, do not just learn it in a silo. Write about what you are learning. Share your code. Critique papers. Engage with the community. You are not shouting into the void, you are leaving breadcrumbs. Over a timeline of 2 to 3 years, these breadcrumbs form a trail that leads people to you. Connections are not things you go out and hunt. True high-value connections are things that happen as a side effect of your work. When you are excellent at something and you demonstrate that excellence publicly, the people who need that excellence will find you. It is magnetic, not aggressive. Let's deepen the specific scenario. You are smart. You have a laptop and you are hungry. You identify a problem. Maybe it is a small inefficiency in how local businesses handle their scheduling. Or maybe it is a gap in understanding a complex scientific topic. If you choose the path of code, you build a small tool, you put it on GitHub, you share it on forums, you improve it. You are not trying to be Mark Zuckerberg. You are trying to create a tiny distinct value. If you choose the path of media, you explain the complex topic. You write the definitive guide. You make the video that simplifies the confusion. In both cases, you are detaching your time from your output. You are creating an asset. An asset is something that works when you are not working. At first, this asset pays you in attention. Then it pays you in reputation. Finally, it pays you in equity or cash. Equity is the holy grail. If you are paid a wage, you are being paid for your time. If you own equity, you are being paid for the risk you took and the judgment you exercised. You cannot get wealthy renting out your time. You must own a piece of a business. When you start from zero, the business you own is yourself. You are the CEO of You Incorporated. As you build this permissionless leverage, this pile of code or media, you begin to develop judgment. Judgment is the ability to make the right decision in complex, uncertain environments. In the beginning, you have no track record, so your judgment is worth nothing. But as you execute, you fail, you iterate, you learn what the market wants, your judgment improves. Eventually, you reach a tipping point. You have a small audience or a small user base. You have proven you can execute. Now, the other forms of leverage become available to you because you have demonstrated judgment and ability via your code, media. People with capital will want to partner with you. They see you as a vehicle for return on investment. You no longer need to beg for money. Money seeks you out. Similarly, once you have capital and a verified product, you can begin to employ labor smartly to scale what you have built. But notice the order. You did not start by networking. You did not start by raising capital. You started by building competence and encapsulating it in a permissionless medium. Let's pause and look at the psychological toll of this path. It requires a tolerance for solitude. When you are building the foundation, there is no applause. There is no boss patting you on the back. You must be internally driven. You must derive satisfaction from the craft itself. If you are doing it for the money, you will quit before the money arrives. The paradox of wealth is that you must care about the work more than the reward, to do the work well enough to get the reward. This brings us to the concept of accountability. To get leverage, you must accept accountability. You must put your name on your work. If it fails, it is your fault. If it crashes, you take the blame. Most people run from accountability. They want to hide behind a corporation, a team, or a pseudonym. But society rewards risk. The person who is willing to step forward and say, I will take responsibility for this outcome, is the person who gets the equity. If you are starting from zero, taking accountability is your fastest hack to status. Because so few people are willing to own the downside, the person who does so automatically signals high competence. It is a costly signal. I am willing to fail publicly is a statement of power. So, the roadmap looks like this. 1, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, stabilize your physical needs with low stress work. 2, asterisk, 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 identify your specific knowledge, what feels like play to you. 3, asterisk, asterisk, build, asterisk, asterisk. Create permissionless leverage code or media based on that knowledge. 4, asterisk, 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 show your work to the world to build a reputation, magnetize connections. 5, asterisk, asterisk, compound, asterisk, asterisk, iterate, improve judgment, let the output disconnect from the input. 6, asterisk, asterisk, capitalize, asterisk, asterisk, use your reputation to access capital and labor. 7, asterisk, asterisk, own asterisk, asterisk, ensure you hold equity in the system you are building. However, there is a trap in the middle of this journey. It is the trap of lifestyle creep and the status game. As you begin to see small successes, the temptation will be to upgrade your lifestyle to match your new income. This destroys your freedom. Money is not for buying better things. Money is for buying your freedom. The ultimate goal of this entire exercise is not to own a Ferrari. It is to own your time. It is to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. When you are starting from zero, your burn rate, what you spend, is likely low. Keep it low. The gap between your income and your expenses is your freedom margin. The wider that gap, the more risks you can take. The more risks you can take, the higher your potential payoff. If you raise your lifestyle every time you make money, you remain trapped in the wage cage, just with golden bars. Let's go deeper into the systems thinking aspect of this. You are building a machine. The machine consists of your habits, your learning inputs, and your creative outputs. You must treat yourself as the operating system. If you are constantly distracted, your operating system is buggy. You cannot do deep work, the kind of work that yields specific knowledge if you are checking notifications every 4 minutes. Part of starting from zero is retraining your brain to focus. The ability to concentrate on a hard problem for 4 hours straight is a superpower in a distracted world. It is, in itself, a form of leverage. You must also curate your inputs. If you read what everyone else reads, you will think what everyone else thinks. If you think what everyone else thinks, you will act like everyone else acts. And if you act like everyone else, you will get the same results as everyone else. And the average result is not freedom, it is anxiety and debt. To get a nonlinear result, you need nonlinear inputs. Read old books. Read technical manuals in fields you don't belong to. Study history. Understand game theory. You are looking for mental models, frameworks for thinking that have stood the test of time. Navigating the no connections constraint further, we must address the nature of the ask. Eventually, you will need to interact with others. How do you approach a high-value person when you are a nobody? You do not ask for coffee. You do not ask to pick their brain. These are taxes on their time. Instead, you provide value first. You use your specific knowledge to solve a problem for them before they even know they have it. You send them a mock-up of a better website. You send them a summary of a research paper relevant to their field. You offer a piece of code that automates a task they complain about. You give without expectation of return. This is counterintuitive. You are at zero. Shouldn't you be taking? No. The universe keeps a ledger. When you provide value without asking for anything, you create a psychological debt. You signal that you are a generator, not a parasite. In the long run, generators attract other generators. This is how you build a network from scratch. You earn it, transaction by transaction, value add by value add. Let us consider the timeline. We mentioned a decade. Why so long? Because of the valley of despair. When you start building a flywheel, it takes tremendous energy to get it to complete the first rotation. You push, and it barely moves. This is the first year or two. You are writing, coding, building, and it feels like nothing is happening. Most people quit here. They look at the effort to reward ratio and say, this is a bad deal. They go back to selling their time because the feedback loop is immediate. Work an hour, get paid $20. But the systems thinker knows that the flywheel stores energy. The second rotation is easier. The third is easier still. By the time you hit year 5 or 6, the flywheel has its own momentum. You can touch it lightly, and it spins rapidly. The inputs your work have remained steady or even decreased, but the outputs, wealth, impact, have gone exponential. This is the nature of compound interest. It applies to money, but it applies even more to reputation and knowledge. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it. Those who don't pay it. When you start from zero, you must position yourself on the earning side of that equation. There is a philosophical component to this journey that must be addressed. Why do we want wealth? If you answer to be happy, you will be disappointed. Wealth does not cure internal angst. It merely removes external constraints. It solves your money problems, leaving you with only your internal problems. However, solving your money problems is a worthy goal because it clears the clutter. It allows you to face the existential questions without the distraction of survival. The ultimate form of leverage is a clear mind. A mind that is not anxious about rent, not seeking validation, and not reacting to every stimulus is a mind that can see reality clearly. And seeing reality clearly is the ultimate competitive advantage. Most people view the world through a fog of wishful thinking, ideology, and social conditioning. They see what they want to see. If you can see the world as it actually is, the incentives, the probabilities, the mechanics, you can navigate it with surgical precision. This clarity comes from a practice of truth-seeking. You must be willing to destroy your own best-loved ideas if they are proven wrong. You must be willing to look foolish in the short term to be right in the long term. Let's synthesize the 0 to 1 moment. You are sitting in that room. You have nothing. You realize that you are a bundle of potential energy. You stop waiting for a savior. You stop waiting for a job opening. You begin to observe the world for problems. You realize that a problem is simply a gap between what is and what could be. You apply your curiosity to bridge that gap. You learn the tools, code, media, design, writing, necessary to build that bridge. You build it, you let people cross it. You charge a toll, or you gain reputation. You repeat this process, increasing the complexity and the scale each time. You move from doing to owning. You move from labor to capital. You move from obscurity to reputation. There will be failures. The first 3 ventures might go to 0. But remember the asymmetry of this game. You can lose 1x, your investment, your time, but you can gain 10,000x on the upside. You only need to be right once. The corporate ladder is the opposite. You get small, steady gains, but one mistake can destroy your career. The entrepreneur-creator path is a series of small sorrows punctuated by massive victories. When you internalize this asymmetry, fear dissipates. You realize that starting from 0 is actually a position of immense power. You have nothing to lose. You are unburdened by the status quo. You are free to take the shots that the incumbents are too scared to take. As we near the end of this exploration, consider the concept of retirement. In the traditional model, retirement is when you stop working because you have saved enough money to die slowly. In the Naval-esque model, retirement is when you stop sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. You retire when your passive income exceeds your burn rate, yes, but you also retire when you love your work so much that the distinction between work and play vanishes. If you build your wealth around your specific knowledge, your authentic curiosity, you never really work a day in your life. You are simply getting paid to be you. And since no one can compete with you on being you, you are retired from the rat race the moment you step onto this path. The journey from 0 to wealth is not a journey of adding things to your life. It is a journey of subtraction. You subtract the need for external validation. You subtract the fear of judgment. You subtract the inefficient trading of time for money. You subtract the reliance on gatekeepers. What is left is the core of who you are, amplified by technology and capital. So, if you find yourself at 0, whether literally or metaphorically, do not despair. You are standing at the base of a mountain that has been climbed by thousands before you. The path is not hidden. It is steep and it is slippery, but it is marked. The markers are specific knowledge, accountability, leverage, judgment, long-term thinking. You do not need a lucky break. You do not need a rich father. You do not need to be in the right country at the right time, though it helps. You need to align yourself with the forces of leverage and let time do the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting is not done by your back. It is done by your mind, your code, and your media. Ultimately, the goal is not just to be rich. The goal is to be sovereign, to be an individual who cannot be coerced, who cannot be bought, and who owns their own time. That is the prize, and it is available to anyone willing to endure the short-term pain of discipline for the long-term gain of freedom. The world is full of money. It is flowing all around you like a digital river. It flows toward value. Become a person of value. Become a person of high judgment. Become a person of leverage. The river will find you. And when it does, remember what it was like to be at 0. Because the skills you learned in the void, the resilience, the creativity, the hunger are the only things that will keep you there. You are the project. The wealth is just the metric of how well you have engineered the solution. Begin.